I'm breaking the fourth wall.
We're here.
Hey!
Another AEW Dynamite with the boys. Welcome back, everyone.
We are
got
here.
the full team.
Let's
quote
fucking
unquote.
go. Kind
Oh,
of.
cheesecake.
2.5 men. 2.5 men.
Wait a
I got
minute.
a fucking phone camera.
Man.
I missed that show.
That was truly one of these shows of all time. Oh, we got some comments. Yo, what's up, Elliot?
Hey.
What up? How you doing, brother? Let's do this shit.
Where do we? Let's start.
All right, well, we got to talk about that main event. That was crazy. We had Jack Perry versus Tony Khan.
Woo! Best
Stars,
5-minute
brother.
match ever. Woo.
Hey,
That's shooting star press.
That's what
I
that
actually,
was 5 stars.
I actually really like this shit.
10-star match.
I actually like this shit. I dug it. Nick, I guess tell us what happened. I don't want to take your whole series.
I mean, hey, what else can you say happened? It was a main event. Jack Perry took on Tony Khan. All Jack Perry wanted was to just be able to get back up on the roster. Tony Khan reinstated. They shook hands, and Jack Perry looked a little cheeky upon that handshake and hug, and we understand the reason why.
Yeah, now we do.
They just laid the man out.
I enjoyed the shit out of it.
He's just
Boom,
dead.
look at that.
Awesome. Give you the day off.
Fellas, what did you think of that incredible main event?
I can't take you seriously. Honestly. Oh man. I was shocked.
I don't know if I'm
to see.
delayed.
Sorry, Joseph.
I'm sorry if I'm delayed. I'll try not to fuck it up. But I thought that not announcing that Tony Khan and Jack Perry would meet in the ring worked to their advantage, because there have been a couple times where they announced like Tony Khan has an announcement or something, and people shit on it for days leading up to the segment, and it's like before it even happens, and so when it does happen, it's already a laughing stock. So like having it be announced in the middle of the show and then having a fucking having it lead to what happened in the main event, that was fucking dude. Jesus is overcooked. Oh god.
Oh, Jesus. That's a great comment.
Was I the only one too that felt like they were getting ready to do the old shuffle, like the switcheroo moment where Tony Schiavone is always Tony Khan's stand-in, and when I saw Schiavone standing in the ring, I'm like, uh-oh, we're not getting it.
I'm just curious where this is gonna go.
Wire's jaw to be wired shut, which means no more Wednesday night announcements.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
This what they should honestly do is let Tony be off TV for a little while to really sell it. Like 2-3 weeks maybe. What do you
He's
think?
never on TV. He's never on TV anyway. He doesn't have to go anywhere. Like it's not like he's disappearing. The guy's not a character. He just shows up in cameos backstage.
He needs to oversell it and just not show up to work for weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I got my situation sorted for a little bit. I'll just be like this, but I
Ghost.
wanted to say I was
not
trying to say,
Danielson.
what I was trying to say earlier was that I enjoyed that they didn't announce this beforehand, because it let me be. I was really surprised that this was happening. I was like, oh shit, Jack Perry, Tony Khan in the ring tonight. What the fuck? It gave me a real sense of excitement for it. When it did happen, I had the feeling Jack Perry was going to lay his hands on Tony Khan. Tony Khan loves Daly's place. This is a special place for him. If he was ever going to take his first bumps or do something that's really integral to like AEW lore, like this is where it's going to happen. And truth be told, I didn't have a single issue with this. It's not like he did anything crazy. They punched him in the gut. He goes down. It wasn't anything that needed him to overact or do anything that would embarrass or hurt this segment. He sold it like death. They fucking killed him.
You have the microphone in the man's rib cage.
Yeah, exactly.
The Bucks renamed this move the Tony Khan driver months ago.
Oh.
I didn't know that this was what that was gonna be paid off with. That's actually really fucking cool, and that's a great piece of storytelling. They might not have put as much emphasis on it on TV, and that kind of blows it away if you didn't catch it. But I remember they mentioned it on commentary at one point, and they kind of started calling it, the TK driver, the Tony Khan driver. And I didn't know they were gonna actually drive Tony Khan with it, but they did. They killed him. Okada, fucking great. He's doing the old Kevin Nash pose while they kill his new boss, like Scott Hall pose. Listen,
Great American Bash 96 vibes right there.
Ooh.
This was a hot. No, they changed. It's the EVP trigger and the Tony Khan driver. That's for Mac, who says they changed it to the EVP driver. Yeah, you mixed up the two finishers, but. Yeah, ultimately, I thought this was a perfect way for the show to end. A hot angle coming off the pay-per-view. Jack Perry positioned as a top heel. The Bucks are like, they've taken this EVP character, it's taken it to a new level, because before they were just in charge of like, fuck this camera angle, like tiny little things like that. Now they're running the show. They're the evil bosses. They're champions. They're the dickhead douchebags that the promoter that runs the show and gives himself the belts and does all these things that the fans claim they do. They'll actually do them in story now. They're gonna position Jack Perry as their guy. They did the thing where Swerve's world champion contender is announced next week. I promise you the Bucks are gonna come out and shit on it and be like, whatever, Jack Perry's gonna be a guy. I don't know if the match is actually gonna happen or if it actually ends up that way, but I promise you they're gonna get involved with that shit. That puts Swerve as your world champion up against these new evil bosses now in a different way, because the evil bosses can actually wrestle. And they can wrestle very fucking good. Not like, Vince, who was a great
version of
boss,
the corporation.
It's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. I've said for a long time AEW needs a real hot angle, goddammit. And the one that was staring them in the face was CM Punk versus the Elite. But guess what? It couldn't happen. This is literally the very best next option, I think.
Pretty much everyone you needed from those situations.
It comes out great. What do you guys think though? Agree, disagree? How do you stand on this?
Fully agree on this one. This is an awesome angle, and I'm excited to see where it goes for the next few weeks up to Double or Nothing.
Cheers, Mac. We'll see you. Fellas, listen, we got to talk about too that moment where we had the whole crowd going, "Oh, cry me a river!"
That too.
Hype and vibes going on with this that you really don't feel with a lot of other AEW stories.
That's gonna be Jack Perry's new theme song.
It's funny because they're supposed to be like, Jack Perry's like, "Fuck you people" at the end, and like, "You all fuck you people," but they're all cheering the shit out of him. Like they're hot. They're so hot right now, man. Like they if you listen to people who don't watch the show, you would think that this wasn't good. But I'm telling you, if you watch the fucking show, you enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I swear. Oh gosh.
That parakeet in the background.
But listen, there was pandemonium at the very end too from this whole segment. You finally, after how long? I'm surprised security didn't storm in there. Where's big security guard Cheesecake? I was mentioning this in our group chat. Where's all those Jack security guards at?
He was probably on the side of the ring watching the whole time, like, why can't I be a part of this? Why can't I be the bodyguard? And now this happened.
Because the Elite came in record time. Everyone else on the roster took their sweet time to go from somewhere in Daly's place to sprint in there. But hey, you know what we did get? Shadid.
Duh. Sent to the con.
The super con.
He's here. The ultimate
with his fucking magnificent mustache. I I wanted to ask, what do you guys think? Where are they going with this? Like, what match comes out of this? What's the big payoff match this is all leading to? Because Kenny Omega comes back next week, but I don't think in real life he's anywhere close to actually coming back. Like, he hasn't even had the surgery yet.
I know
I
he just had an emergency
imagine,
procedure too recently.
yeah. I imagine the Young Bucks and Jack Perry and Okada are gonna do some nefarious shit here, and they're gonna kill Kenny in his hometown or something like that.
They killed Kenny.
I could see that.
Oh, so I wonder if I don't know, Kenny Omega acts as like Tony Khan's champion, or like against the evil Kazuchika Okada, which adds this whole storyline element to one of the greatest
So
pro wrestling rivalries of all time, which
if
is ironic because people always kind of talk about how non-story driven AEW is, but that would actually add a real big sports entertainment style storyline to like one of the most iconic sports centric wrestling rivalries of all time. It's a very anti AEW thing. I don't know if I even see it happening that way, but I'm trying to think of like a big payoff at the end of this somewhere down the line, and
I got a
that
crazy
seems
one.
like
Caesar.
So if they've got Okada, Jack Perry, and the Bucks, the opposing side would have Omega, maybe Ibushi, and who would be the tag team? I wonder if they would do like a 4-on-4 kind of thing.
I don't think Ibushi's because he's got like 2 broken ankles and a lot of things
Oh,
to
shit.
heal.
He's
I don't
broken
think
everything.
he's
No.
going to be part of this
But
story
you
at
get what
all.
I'm saying. Like if they did something
I
like
do
that, like
see
4v4
like
kind of thing.
Team AEW versus the Elite.
Which is weird to
Uh,
say because like the
yeah,
EAW is elite.
literally all Elite Wrestling, right? It does create this. It does create this NWO style situation. If where it's like Tony Khan doesn't wrestle, right? So, but they've attacked the owner of the company. People that come to represent him now will technically represent the company against the evil elite. It's so. I mean, I guess they can. Unless it's like a team that also calls themselves the elite. Like who else? It's Kenny, Hangman, possibly.
Yeah,
Although
that
I
was
imagine
the thing
Hangman.
too. Hangman, remember when the Bucks were considering kicking him out of the elite? One of the things that they were doing is like, we like his work against Swerve, but at the same time, we don't know. So they, unlike Kenny, which was just a complete finite decision, Hangman, they
Yeah.
kind of left up there on the table. So I could see that being like earlier than that with like a Chuck Taylor type of thing where he needs to choose his side. But another name I want to throw out there when we're looking at tag teams with perpetual rivalries, I mean, look at what happened when Jack Perry came back. He pushed the ladder over on FTR. I mean, I can see those guys getting involved in this in a big way, especially because it seems like there's so many people involved in the storyline that were a part of all that CM Punk drama from 2 very different circumstances.
So basically, Kenny, Hangman, and FTR versus the Elite kind of thing.
I don't think it should be Hangman though. I don't know why I have an issue with it, honestly. But you know what? At the same time, in real life, Hangman is a major part of what AEW was and is, and in the blood of what the company is. But my thing is, he aligns so perfectly with the Elite right now because what's their thing? They've aligned. Jack Perry and the Young Bucks are the people that CM Punk had the issue with. Hangman was one of the first
Hangman,
ones to bring that shit to TV, to bring it to his face. And to this day, I will tell you that Hangman should not have lost to CM Punk that night. And so if they wanted to turn that into a story, so I shouldn't even have been put in that position kind of thing, even though they don't have to reference the CM Punk of it anymore. Like the context is there. I don't think you actually have to talk about CM Punk anymore. It's just kind of cute that this is what it is, like it has that buzz around it. But yeah, that's a good question. They're trying to think of who's gonna take up the fight against this evil elite.
That's fun to think about. There's so many different variables and considerations there. And again, like you got to also consider like who are their perpetual rivalries, since it seems like that's something that's a theme here of sorts with Okada and Omega.
I get that. You're right. So I get that makes sense. So you do Okada. Oh, fuck, the world champion, Swerve Strickland. You do
Swerve and
Okada
Hangman.
Omega, the Young Bucks, FTR, Hangman, and Swerve. God, we
Done.
booked the shit out of this. Look at us go.
Got it, fellas. Shadid is here to pay us.
Yeah.
Look at how befuddled and confused he is at what we've done. He's like, you guys don't run a wrestling company. How did you book such fire? You should.
My son can do this.
My son
I
can't
can
do it.
appreciate Abrahante's on this.
And Tony
Who
Schiavone.
was it? Somebody in the ring sold it like, holy shit, what the fuck are you doing out here?
Wasn't it Carly
I don't
Bravo?
know.
Yeah, Carly Bravo.
But he did it so hard that it distracted Shad, and he looked back at him like, what the fuck are you so surprised about?
Who's the caterer?
He took away from the whole segment for like 3 seconds. Like, what the fuck?
No, I can't believe Carly Bravo just got future endeavored. That's crazy.
It's like when fucking who got fired for hugging Vince? Titus almost got fired.
Yeah, he got
Except
the 60-day suspension and missed WrestleMania.
This time it's just for looking at Shahid. How dare you look at,
Just look like
fucking
this.
looked at him.
That made me
Fired.
You're done.
Oh,
Yeah.
that made you what?
Yes.
All right, he's got 4 times the money Vince does, so like what he does has to be like 4 times worse. He like shoots Carly Bravo in a cannon into the sun.
Send for cheesecake.
It's actually pretty wild. Like, I know he's Tony's dad or whatever, but like, he's like insane, like next level rich, like that next level rich dude just like strolling into a wrestling ring is like such a weird thing to see. Like, look at his extravagant mustache. He looks like a character.
Man is
great stuff,
literally an auto billionaire.
He just showed up. That's all he did.
I'm saying, like,
Damn.
in
Like,
the
he
20
himself
minutes
is
since we've
mustache.
started this show, he's probably made $100 million at least.
Just for being mentioned.
That's why I tell people all that shit. They'd be like, you know, AEW's dying. I'm like, I don't know. Literally, if Tony Khan was like, hey, Dad, I don't know, company's kind of shitting right now, he'd be like, I don't know, take a little bit, couple $100 million if you need it. Just
Listen,
nothing.
It's like we can sell more single piece bumpers.
his face is like, what?
I love the way he looks. Like, there's something the way he looks. He's such a fucking character. Like, how is he not on television right now? How is he not an EU manager? Like, look at him.
Next week.
That's
we hear
great.
from
That's
Khan.
great.
I was gonna say I don't remember
But
him
yes,
on a lot of
ultimately-
AEW stuff before this.
No,
Like,
I
was
don't
on
think he
anything
has
before?
been. He was a cutout.
just
He was a cutout once
That's true.
in a. It was like a stadium stampede, I think, and they went into his office and it was a cutout of him in there.
Yeah,
But,
that's right. And he got a shout out when Cody Rhodes ended racism.
That's right. But I don't think I've ever seen him on television like this. You're right. You're absolutely right. Holy shit.
So
This
that
was a big
itself
night.
was-
I mean, for AEW, for moments, like I know people. If you try to compare it to like your favorite iconic moments, it's like, you know, fuck you. Like, they're trying to create new ones within the history of their own company. And this was that. I thought. What did you? Like,
Evolution is a mystery.
that does perfectly loop it back to the beginning, though, doesn't it?
No, absolutely. I mean, this is how we open up: is getting ready for the the segments for that, set the course for later. And I really appreciate that about AEW in general now. Is I like that full circle approach where we show what that finale is going to be for later in the night, and we kind of build up to that throughout the different segments between our matches. I really appreciate that from a storytelling perspective. What say you guys?
I'm glad that they figured out. I'm glad they figured out what to do with those extra segments. Because remember when the Bucks first did this thing and they were like randomly just trying to establish that they were assholes with like the extra segment where it was like, God, this felt like such a pointless thing. Like, why didn't we just get into the meat of what they were doing later on instead of having to see them earlier and taking the fucking shine off of it? But like you said, now we're actually making it work. Like they were sprinkled throughout the entire show, wondering what is the Elite doing, what is the Elite doing, what is the Elite doing, and they finally paid off at the end of the show like that. That can't be the only time that happens. This has to be something that we're doing more often, and I have to wonder if this is with the help of Mrs. Jennifer Pepperman. And I really hope that we'll see more of this. No, and again, it's like my thing with the WWE when the Bloodline and The Rock had the hottest angles, where I was like, I really love to see these kind of storytelling across the roster, you know? So yeah. I'd love to see more of this. It is interesting though. Oh, go ahead, Caesar. I will talk forever. No, I'm fucking high.
2 hours later. No, I completely agree with you guys. It's like these segments are getting bigger. They're not just like you said, John. They're not just like, okay, what's going on? Now it's like, whoa. So again, we gotta wait a whole week and see what the hell they do. And I'm really excited for it because that was intense for an ending of the episode.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, our boy Max says, what are the chances that Kenny comes back next week? Elite takes him out, and then he goes and gets his surgery.
I mean, they're in Winnipeg next week, so I mean that'd be kind of a weird way to do it, though. Comes back for 1 week, gets killed off TV.
Based on
that's pretty much
direction we're setting up, I could absolutely see it to where because they never said he's going to come back in a match or anything, but I can see them kind of using this to kind of build up more intrigue into their storyline, get Kenny involved while also giving him that opportunity to be written off for a little bit longer just for, you know, that surgery and to sell some tickets. Like I think someone in the group chat said, John, was that you that said that?
No, it wasn't. It was somebody else.
It's an unidentified individual.
Gary Joe.
Gary, come home.
And not to mention, no doubt. Not to mention, like, it would make them bigger heat magnets too, wouldn't it? They kill off Kenny.
But a second week in a row too, where they kill a major part of the foundation of AEW. Like this is us now.
Well, who would be after
another in his hometown? So fuck yeah, I'm down. I would prefer to see it that way. Honestly,
the arena is like a street away from his house.
But I don't know if he can actually bump.
That's just it. You know what they have to do if they attack and destroy Omega? What they absolutely need to do,
run him over.
But I'm saying do like the Christian Cage thing where you just show like Don Callis being really satisfied watching it from a screen.
He's got nothing to do with this at all, but he's just very satisfied at the events.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you can segue
that's how you can transition into another segment. Cool. Yeah, like I said, John.
That's really cool, actually. Damn, we're really booking the shit out of this next week of Dynamite, aren't we?
They're watching this
it's actually
episode.
It was interesting to me that Swerve as the world champion was left, like he didn't get hooked into his next storyline until next week. Like in my mind, that means that this Tony Khan thing had to happen first. So that kind of interested in how he ties in, and I really hope it's that what we were talking about earlier, where it's like he's team AEW. Like this is my thing. What the hell? Insane.
Is that
John
Daft Punk?
Is in robot mode, and we can barely hear him, but we hope he's doing well.
All right, so the first segment we go to?
We'll get there. Max says,
whoa.
AEW just released the video of Jack Perry and the Bucks talking about what they did. Jack said Tony took 8 months of his life, and he got what was coming to him. Matthew said that this was the first step in changing the landscape of AEW, and that Tony was getting in the way of what their company should be.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
Fellas, we might have just predicted this.
Why do I feel
we like just booked this?
John, we did it.
All right, record the whole episode.
Did we save AEW? We saved AEW. Fuck yeah.
Oh, boys, who's ready to become a billionaire?
Do you have a mustache like that too? I can't.
Do you
grow
think he'll
facial
pay
hair,
us?
He better. That's the only way.
Am I still a
John
robot?
rules. No, but you rule nonetheless.
I got a
I
filter
miss-
for robots. I'll do robots.
No.
Fellas, we need to make sure Shadid makes the right call, makes the right decision. But did someone else make the right decision? As we go to the next segment, Chuck Taylor makes his as Chuck T
love
considers
What he said.
exactly. He has to pick a side. He's got to pick between Orange. He's got to pick between Trent. Well, Trent doesn't want him to have to choose, so Trent's just going to attack Orange and say, yo, join me, man. But it's just not as clean cut and
That was
easy
funny
as
as hell.
that.
I
Yeah.
know. Just I love when he gives him the microphone and he's like, I'm gonna give him a hug, and he's like, you know what, Trent, I just thought you were a shithead, and then just clocks him. Perfect.
Some serious stuff from Chucky T.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that they put him in a match at all because he even acknowledged it. Like, they won't clear me for a match, but we can have a parking lot brawl. I was like, what the fuck? What are we actually doing?
Shenanigans.
I was on Collision, right? The match? Collision? Or Rampage? One of the two.
Rampage. This is
Rampage.
Rampage, baby.
But it's going to be another one of
Anyway,
those things where it's like a 3-hour Saturday night thing where Rampage is basically the third hour of Collision.
Oh,
Woo!
shit. Is it?
Yep, it's another one of those for the preempted Friday night spots.
Did you notice they didn't fucking say what time Collision will be on? It's just after the playoffs. I fucking hate that shit.
No way to set our DVRs accordingly, which was literally the whole point for them when it comes
got
down
this.
to
I'm
letting us know
saying.
when things are.
God damn it. Anyway, I guess we'll see it when it happens.
Yeah, but Chucky
But,
T, like we said,
yeah,
you know,
this-
he makes that challenge for a parking lot brawl because that's, hey, they're not going to clear him, but let's make it unsanctioned. Why not? And that's just kind of been the best friends match type, you know, so it's appropriate and fitting and poetic in its own way that this is where the best friends end.
That's really sad. But it's also a long time coming, and sometimes, in some ways, a little late. If we had done it sooner, we actually would have got Chucky T in the ring too. But you know what? It is what it is. We're here now. The story they're telling makes sense. It's a good one. We brought him in to be a mascot. You know, bullshit. He left us behind. I think that's cool stuff. I like when it doesn't have to be meta, but it's a good motivator.
Right.
I have kids. They keep screaming in the background. This is so unprofessional.
Okay, Heath Slater. Caesar,
Whoa.
what are your thoughts on this?
I'm glad they finally pulled the trigger and gave Chucky T, like, if not like an actual match, just some action actually on the show. So I'm looking forward to see how this goes. As for a winner, I don't know, just let them duke it out for like 20 minutes, kill each other. Again, like you said, in like their match type,
Yeah,
circled
that's
cars. Let it go
yeah.
for a bit.
their match. Well, think we'll see Sue? Think we'll see Danhausen?
Dude, Sue's gonna drop a haymaker on Trent. Just
Oh,
She's
she's
a mom.
gonna beat her boy. She's gonna have the wooden spoon, or she's gonna have a shoe or something.
she's
He
gonna try another
disrespected her.
clothesline.
He walked away from her when he hit Orange Cassidy. She's gonna have to hit him.
She's gonna drop him on his head through the window.
I'm
of
not
her-
saying I condone child abuse, but if you don't abuse them, it's not
You won't
abuse.
learn. Holy
Ah,
shit.
this is-
What are we getting into
meta,
here?
fellas. All right.
Sue's
Speaking
gonna
of
save the
abuse-
match.
Oh shit!
Ah, fellas, listen, when it comes down to parental figures, no one is less trustworthy than the greatest man ever. Probably the second best father in all of AEW after Christian Cage. Don Callis and his family.
Let's go. Look at this
Did we
piece
miss
of shit.
something, by the way?
That leads us into the opening match, which was champion versus champion. We had Swerve
Eliminator.
Strickland taking on Kyle Fletcher in an elimination match. If Fletcher was to win this, he would get a world title shot.
He already has
Greg
Sky Blue.
Hates that shit so much. He fucking hates
Eliminator
that.
concept.
Yeah, they call every singles match with the champion an eliminator, and it's like, what's the point of giving it a title? Like, you have to give it a title every time now. I understand because they could have just called this champion versus champion. It would have made Kyle Fletcher seem a little more.
Yes.
I mean, I like how
John
Ring of Honor
sounds a
does
little
it.
far away from his phone.
I like how Ring of Honor does it. They call it a proving ground match. That sounds cool. Instead of
It has a
Eliminator. Like Eliminator just seems too on the nose.
I'm just always a fan of title defenses. Like, make Swerve a fighting champion. Make this just a world title match. Why not?
I mean, he has Sky Blue, so
they made such a fucking big deal about the rankings, and they threw the rankings away like 3 weeks later.
I forgot about the ratings.
Yeah, there's like no rankings anymore. And on top of that, it's like, how do the rankings work if we're still having eliminator matches? And they even say too, like, oh, don't worry, the rankings, they're coming back next week. And then
I can understand like if like number 2 versus number 3 and the winner became number 2 kind of thing or something like that. Like you fought for your spot. Like that makes sense, but
that would make too much sense though.
Yeah. We don't do things that are proper. We just wing it.
It just seemed like the one that made the most sense, but fuck it. It's over.
Yeah.
It's dead.
John just sounds like he's a voice recording on someone's like message machine.
John just sounds like, yeah, he's just an answering machine. We'll be back after these.
I am.
Is John calling in the whole episode? The whole episode.
This was champion versus champion, and the way I see it, though, it was exactly what it should have been. It was a great way to open the show, in my opinion. But again, the thing that I think took a lot of attention away from all these big personalities was during the match, they made the announcement, Kenny Omega returns. And we mentioned this earlier, so we're not going to go into too much detail on it, but that itself's got some implications on it, fellas. What do you think?
He's going to get written off.
I thought it was interesting that they announced it as a return like that.
Right?
Because it implies something to people that don't know any better. And he's in a fight graphic. You know,
it's like, a new render, isn't it?
I think it is. But it is a fighting render. He's shirtless. He looks like he wants to fight.
He's got the tape on.
You would imagine.
And the hair tied back. It's going down.
So I think that with that, they have to kill him next week. They have no real choice. Like, you do anyway. You have to do it. And that's actually really good heat, too. I don't want to get too into it, but the idea that you were going to get Kenny Omega back. But we killed him again.
Hey, he's back.
John, your audio's back, and it sounds good.
Whoa, I didn't know it was gone.
It sounded like you were on a voicemail.
Or like
you
a
were floating in the episode.
Walkie-talkie, John.
How does it sound now, though?
Perfect.
Oh, clear. Amazing.
Awesome.
Like,
what the fuck were we talking about?
The champ match. And
how was the match, fellas?
The match itself was solid. I thought if you're going to open a match with, two amazing wrestlers, this was a way to do it. I just think eliminator-wise, it didn't make as much sense as just building it up as champion versus champion, because that sounds so cool.
My question is, I wonder what the hell that play was that Don was calling. Like, I wonder what it could have been.
He said it was a table.
He did? Oh, okay, I missed that then.
He wanted Kyle to grab a table, and Kyle was like, no, I want to beat the champion on my own. And then, he loses. So he should have probably grabbed the table. But they're building to United Empire versus the Don Callis family as well here. This is interesting.
I'd love to see that.
Mark Davis should be coming back soon. It's not like he broke his neck, right?
What happened? I forget.
It was his wrist?
Yeah. Yeah, he broke his wrist. Was it during a match with FTR, I think?
Yes, it was. Yeah. I remember he finished the match. He was fucking gangster. It was awesome, too. That match was sick.
He's a Chad. Yeah, I'm excited for him to come back, and especially, too, because you got a big man on each end, too, with the Don Callis family potentially imploding on itself, because then you could, theoretically, if he's not actually hurt, and we'll get to this later, but Hobbs and Davis, I mean, who doesn't like a good Haas fight?
Meet planets.
Wait,
so Konosuke, Hobbs
versus Ospreay and Kyle, because Mark isn't ready.
But if they had 3, who would be the third for Dawn? I wonder.
Whoever they brought in, he can
Maybe
just
Don
bring
Callis.
somebody.
Exactly. They
He'll
can
be
always acquire more. It's a family.
It's Don Callis. He'll be the third.
They'll
Yes,
suck Chris Jericho back into it.
Oh, please no.
well, next match as we go onwards, we had Mina Shirakawa taking on Anna Jay. This was a fun women's match that happened. Again, I love any type of showcase for Stardom, especially when it comes down to showing off some Mina.
I was stoked to see that. First time ever seeing her wrestle, so I was pretty excited.
Oh yeah, she's solid. She's awesome. And a lot of my Stardom knowledge comes from hearing about things that John and Greg talk about on the flagship show. So then I go look it up, and I'm like, okay, these women are pretty dang good at what they do.
I don't know if you read what I said to John in the chat, but I was like, her theme sounds like Stereo Love. And he's like, no, it's actually a different song. It's actually a sample. And I was like, what is it? And then he told me what it was. And I'm like, psh! I'm like, I quit. Now that I have heard it and that I hear it, when she wrestles, like
I love that the crowd got behind her though as the match went on because they didn't really know she was when her music hit. But she performed pretty well as it went on. I kind of wish they would put her in there with a more work rate lady, but fuck it. It ended up okay.
Anna Jay needs something.
It was still a good match nonetheless.
Yeah,
but I do agree with John.
Yeah, but regardless, at the end, Mina wins, and then Anna Jay runs up and attacks because Mariah May beforehand came out, and it was time for some more champagne celebration. The champagne came out. Mariah May was ready to party once again with Mina. We got a lot of potential when it came down to Rose Gold celebration, but no, Anna Jay says stop that, attacks, and would you know it, but timeless Toni Storm came out to save Mariah May, which beforehand, maybe she might not have done, but it's different now. This champion is here to defend her girl, and timeless Toni Storm comes to save the day, and just when you think that's all done, guess what, fellas? We had someone else come out. It was crazy. This just kept going. Serena Deeb came out.
Oh, God.
When Toni Storm ran to make the save, she threw the shoes, of course. Throw the shoe. But you also had her leave the title behind. Serena Deeb came out and just sat right next to the title, issuing potentially a challenge. I don't know what she was honestly saying because her music was way too loud. But
I can tell you, like I heard it was very good. She grabbed the belt. No, she didn't grab the belt. She looked in the camera and she said, I'm going to tell you all, I'm not going to do the little trope where I pick the belt up and I put it over my head. The next time you see me with this championship, I promise you, I'll be world champion. So she said, I'm not touching this shit until I become world champion, which is awesome because I actually had a little issue with Swerve playing around with the belt before he became champion. I was like, fuck, like, stop letting him touch the belt. Like, please stop letting him take pictures with it everywhere he fucking goes, damn it. What are y'all doing? But, yeah, I loved it.
Nick's out of focus. Oh,
I know. I'm not
the stream's breaking down. Could we see them at Double or Nothing? Hey, there we go. Could we see it at Double or Nothing, or would it be a little bit later?
Oh man, you know,
lost John.
You know what? I could 100% see this potentially being a match for Double or Nothing. I mean, they gotta get something over there, and if we're gonna have you know the build up for something, because Double or Nothing's like another month or so, yeah. So they've got plenty of time to draw this intrigue, and I am always such a fan of interwoven storytelling, and just the fact we had so many women, it was like one after another coming out, like that was fun stuff. I was surprised we didn't get like Thunder Rosa and Deanna coming in and getting involved too. Instead, they had a different segment during an interview later.
Yeah. See, I'm wondering is like they'll do this with Serena and Tony, and then maybe the next, because like what's this? We got next month is Double or Nothing, and then after that we got like what, a month break, then a pay-per-view again. I can't remember. I think, or no, something like that.
Double or Nothing and then Forbidden Door coming up.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, pretty soon they have to figure out where the hell Jamie Hayter is going to sit in this, or Britt Baker, or somebody else. Maybe Sheeta. Someone's got to come back eventually. Jamie Hayter. I mean,
she's been gone for like over a year now.
You know the pop is going to be insane when she pops out of the curtain. But
Oh yeah, like
how about that
Jamie Hayter's
TBS? How about that TBS celebration? I got to get this off my chest. How about that celebration?
All right, Caesar wants to go right in. Let's do it. It was TBS Championship Celebration. Willow and company have been partying hard. We saw them at the Chuck E. Cheese. John, when you came back, you just like knocked me back into focus. Thank you.
Yeah, the
Hello.
budget.
I wanted to talk about Serena Deeb for a second, but
Let's hear it.
Well,
Oh, no?
no, I
No,
just
there's
wanted
still
to say
time.
that
We can go back.
because I thought they
Matt.
were setting up a triple threat match for the world title, but with Serena Deeb coming in, they actually set up two big ass title. They actually set up two women's matches for the pay per view, and I thought that was really progressive. Damn it!
So Deeb at Double or Nothing, and then the triple threat later.
Deeb,
Or
no, Serena Deeb versus versus Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purrazzo.
ooh,
True. We're getting a lot of women's matches. And then again, don't
Imagine
forget what
that.
they just set up. And we were talking about that from this TBS Championship celebration. After coming back from the Chuck E. Cheese, we had the stare down. The CEO wants to get that payback up against Willow Nightingale.
And there's Stokely for some reason.
I really wish they had not debuted Mercedes until like yesterday or until the pay-per-view that just passed.
Nothing. Or-
Dynasty.
Oh, okay.
Because it was like a whole pay-per-view cycle of Mercedes promos that weren't the best. They were like WWE style promos in an AEW environment, and they weren't hitting. And it felt like we kind of took the mystique off of her a little bit. Like, damn, in 2 months before she finally gets in the ring, it's like I understand that she's not cleared now, even though you haven't really said anything until I kind of had to figure it out on my own. But
Plus, don't forget too, in one of her promo segments, she got dropped.
She got taken out, and it really looks like it's gonna be Chris Statlander there. I've been saying that shit for a while. Like, I thought Chris took out Mercedes. I thought she took out Willow. I thought that she's gonna show her. I don't know if she's with Stokely though. That would really. I don't know. We'll see. But
Stoolie, as they like to call him.
Stoolie?
I also appreciate when they went to Chuck E. Cheese that Stokely is small enough that they were able to get him on some of the rides there.
yeah, he's on a big step, so
How tall is he? Like 5'2" or something? He's gonna be tiny as shit. That's for sure.
it's fucked
There's
up.
no way.
That's fucked up. Don't talk
He
about our
rides
short
this man.
kings like that. There's many short kings listening, and they would like.
We love you.
Oh, wait.
represent.
Funny as hell. That's all I'm saying.
Short King's fist bump.
Anyway,
That was risky. I almost knocked myself out of focus.
Again,
But it's for you, Short Kings.
John
for
can just
you.
leave and come back and it'd be fine.
I'm really listen. I dig that Mercedes is probably gonna because she comes off like a little obnoxious, like towards Willow, like a bitch, a little bit, like.
Can't
And
do
Willow
that word.
comes off like such a nice lady. Like, I really want to root for Willow in anything that she does in life, and I just want her to be like happy. Like, I will protect her smile. God damn it, I will protect it. So when she says that, what did she tell Mercedes? She said, "I didn't mean to hurt you, but I'm getting sick and tired of your shit." Basically, like, I will defend this championship at the pay-per-view. I really want her to defend. Like, I don't want her to lose. But Mercedes, Mercedes probably shouldn't lose her first match like that. But she should cheat to win. I think. She should cheat to win. She should turn on, and not turn on her, but like, I don't know if maybe she should turn heel, full on, before the pay-per-view or at the pay-per-view after she wins the belt. I think it'd be better if she does before the show, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
Caesar, go for it.
I just can't stand the promos anymore. It's been going for a while. That's the easiest way of explaining it. As for the belt win, I do agree with John. If she's gonna lose, or if she's gonna win, it's gonna be one of those cheat to win kind of things. But I don't know. I'm just waiting till the pay-per-view gets here and see where they go with it, because I don't know how to predict. But I do agree. I love how Willow's like super excited, super happy, and like the vibe is always really cool when she shows up.
Mm-hmm.
You never have a bad time, basically.
Right.
And her matches are awesome too.
Yeah, no, Willow is great, and like John was saying, like it's so hard to not want to root for her
Mm-hmm.
because she's so nice, she's
Bubbly.
so cool, she's just amazing, and like at the same time, when you have Mercedes, it's like I want to also root for her, especially because she just got in here, and we all know what she's capable of doing.
Yeah.
And I do like that they're bringing in a lot of their like past history in here, especially when it came down to Mercedes getting injured, because I think that definitely makes it more personal. And I think this is where they have to start pulling the trigger to give Mercedes that big opportunity to get that title, while also being able to pull the trigger on Statlander and Willow, because there's no doubt that's the direction they're going with that. I don't know if Statlander should side with Mercedes, but I think they should do something with Statlander and Willow.
What if they did a really big like swerve and pushed Mercedes as a face and the other faction, the three of them, as heels? Could that?
Probably. I don't know. I don't know if I would want that. I think with Mercedes right now, the at the moment, the way that she is, I don't know. Maybe she's lost a little bit of will just for not wrestling all the time. I think it'd be easier to just turn and get some heat on her and let her be like, fuck y'all, fuck the crowd, and I'm the CEO, I run that shit, and she can be like fist bumping the elite. Like, those are cool. Those guys are fucking cool. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Like, I'm the CEO. They give me what I want, and I it's. I think she comes off like I'm gonna run this shit. And Willow has even said in the interviews, like, when does she even come up getting a title shot out of nowhere? Like, it just tired really well to turn Mercedes heel right now. I'm sorry, I was distracted by my dog, who's very angry at me because she wants to go outside.
But I think going back to like what we were talking about previously with our rankings, as the CEO comes in and all of a sudden gives herself as CEO, of course, that spot to just clear the rankings completely, just jump to the front.
It's good. She's a former WWE girl too. She's still got that former WWE girl aura around her. I really feel like they should have put her up against like a gatekeeper style character. Like, I'm still stuck on that.
Right.
I still doing the mistake not to do that. So that's why I would turn her heel, just because fuck it. Like, if there's something that there's a chance people are not gonna really like, instead of having it fall on its face and have her out there smiling and looking stupid, you should get ahead of the fucking curb, turn her heel, make the people boo her, and then when you want people to cheer her later on, you can turn in that direction. Besides,
So against Britt.
Willow is really nice, and I want her to look good in this. I want her to look good in this. I want her to be straight up, clean, like, shake my hand. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
But yeah, we want her to succeed. But speaking of succeeding, again, we were talking earlier. This was a storyline that was going on. That was a major storyline that was just hitting through it. We had Jack Perry coming out of Tony Khan's office. One by one, the boys, the elite, did not want to tell Alex Marvez what was going on.
No one did.
Until Matthew gave a little hint, and this is where we got the announcement that Tony Khan was going to be meeting face-to-face with Jack Perry later in the night. And they also showed the recap of when Jack Perry came back to AEW, and also let the record show our guy Cheesecake, the big beefy security guard, was able to be the one that unmasked Jack Perry. So we all know Cheesecake is stronger than Jack Perry. We already talked a lot about this, so let's go on to the next segment. This one, they just kind of announced out of nowhere, and they didn't even really announce the rules for it, but it was a casino gauntlet match.
I was so confused at first.
The rules were interesting. I don't even think they knew. I think they kind of improvised as they went along.
I genuinely thought this was going to be a battle royale kind of match.
Same. I thought this was a casino royale.
And then I saw everyone flying out of the ring, and I was like, never mind. There goes my impression
They came up with it 3 minutes before the fucking show started, I swear. They were like, oh, it's a casino gauntlet, and the wrestlers will just keep on coming out until somebody pins somebody. And I was like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Right?
So,
And as
like,
wrestling
so-
fans, we've been so conditioned that the gauntlet match is, one by one. You pin someone, then the next person comes in.
Yeah.
Then they get pinned, and then the next person comes in. Like
Until it's done.
That was definitely
And-
some Jeff Jarrett shit.
Absolutely. And like the goal was to get the first pinfall. So again, like it's not to eliminate everyone, like all the past
Like-
casino matches where it was a lot of it was just it was a race. It wasn't a gauntlet.
Can I
Could you
just?
imagine if someone got the first pin like in the first 2 minutes, for example? Then what?
Well, yeah, that's kind of the broken logic. Like, oh, that would suck. But I thought it was like messy in structure, but there were so many good wrestlers in it.
it was just fun to watch because they were
Oh
just
yeah.
doing random good wrestling. Like,
There were a lot of sick spots and moments. In that.
It was fun for what it was as a mess, and I appreciated that.
Mhm.
It's just you didn't know what we were building towards, so you
It
didn't
wasn't
know how to
until
react.
halfway
To it.
through the match that they said it was for an international title shot too.
Again,
But
like
that I
John said,
did.
just
I
make
knew
it up as
that.
they go.
I knew that, but I didn't know the rules like of the
They
match
didn't.
until like it felt like halfway during the match where they were like, "Oh, wrestlers will just keep coming out until somebody pins someone," and I was like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck?"
I wrote in my notes that like once number 8 came out, Jay Lethal, which ended up being the last guy, that's when Tony Schiavone said up to 21 wrestlers will be able to be in this. So
Right? I heard that too.
which makes me wonder. I hope they make even just some like kayfabe list of just who the remaining 13 were that didn't get that opportunity to come out there. And hey, you might be able to have some of them be like, hey, I didn't get the
Cheesecake.
chance to come out there. Oh my god, can you imagine? Like, I just think like you have 13 people that you
Bounty
can just
hunter.
randomly throw into a match and be like, Ospreay got the win too early. I want my shot. So they'll be
John
challenging
Cena
Ospreay.
was actually going to debut on this night, but he didn't. His number
Yeah.
wasn't called,
It
so
was number 20.
we lost him.
Damn it, guys!
He's never coming. He's never coming back. I
Numerically speaking, we had just going through it real quick. Jay White, number 1, Dante Martin, number 2, number 3 was Penta Azzetto Miedo, number 4, Kyle O'Reilly, number 5, Will by gosh Ospreay, number 6, Murderhawk Monsters, Lance Archer, number 7, Commander, and then number 8, Jay Lethal. I thought this was fun to showcase a lot of these guys, especially later on with like a Lethal and a Commander who don't really get those opportunities too often.
I don't know if I liked the what we're doing here. I don't know how I feel about it. It feels like but I don't know where we're headed. But why is Will Ospreay in this match right now? This is
Keep him
beneath
busy.
him. This is so beneath him. You don't keep someone busy with a low like you were keeping Stone Cold busy with an Intercontinental Championship match, like at a pay-per-view. Like, what the fuck are we doing right now? Like, what is this? What are we really doing here? I thought Ospreay would come out and he would probably get eliminated or whatever by who his next feud would be. I never expected that he was gonna win this thing. I was
What-
like, what the fuck?
What if
Ospreay,
Nick's
why?
idea is the best idea? The list of people that I want my spot, and then go after Will Ospreay for a chance to take his spot.
I mean, I guess that's just a way out, but I don't know if they
Okay.
want a way out. They're very happy, I think, with this direction. Otherwise, they wouldn't have went with it. But I thought the only way this makes sense to me is if they want Ospreay and Swerve to unify these belts or something. Because there's like no world in my mind where you don't want Will Ospreay to win the world championship this summer, or at least be in the main event at Wembley. So this kind of is weird because if he wins, he would essentially be the secondary champion in the company.
Oh,
So, like-
John, you just developed some like idea of foreshadow in my brain. Like, what if that's why they had like Ospreay's boy in a champion versus champion match at the start of the show? Because that's foreshadowing Wembley.
Oh shit!
I'm done.
God damn!
I'm done.
That's
That's
you broke me, Nick. You broke me.
the layers.
This makes sense to me, but this has to be what they're doing. Otherwise, it's like fucking me up. But I mean, other than that, it's gonna be an awesome match.
Yeah, one of the things too that I thought this was a fun way to get a lot of one-on-one opportunities that we probably wouldn't have seen otherwise. Like this made me realize that an Ospreay and Commander match would just kill. Like that was awesome.
Or Ospreay and O'Reilly. Those were pretty good too.
Or Ospreay Penta, or Ospreay Dante. And I'm like, God.
Jay White.
Jay White.
They've had matches done before.
Shit chain. That was great. That's actually it made me think back to like I was watching Young Boy Jay Ospreay. I was watching Young Boy
Fusion
versus Young Boy Will Ospreay at Ring of Honor in like 2017, and to see them up here getting holy shit chance just for staring at each other, that was really fucking cool. I'd like to see this match down the line in the main event. That's big money right there.
Like just the two of them, no belt. I guess.
New Japan get to run that as a main event? I don't think so, right?
Yeah, I don't think it was a main event.
Probably not.
Ospreay kind of is Jay White is the guy that they go to after Jay White leaves. Basically. That's really funny. Ospreay, Jay White, and Kenny there looking at each other in succession. Like, what the fuck? Kenny looking at the two people that were supposed to replace him. You motherfuckers. Thanks. Anyway.
It made me realize too that we haven't seen Jay. Speaking of Jays, Jay Lethal hasn't been on for a while
since the Continental Classic, right?
Yeah, because he started doing that kind of like the breaking up of his group with Jarrett and whatnot. We haven't really seen that whole group. I don't know where Satnam Singh has been.
If I was running that company, man, I would have all the older wrestlers that I can't use on TV anymore in like some you would all get transitioned to some. We're doing producing. We need coaches. We need mentorships. I want you to stop these kids from doing drugs.
Hands on deck.
You know, I mean, you can't keep everybody. And sometimes I wonder, like, how many producers does a company actually need? I do like Jay White. Is such a fountain of knowledge and experience. I mean, Jay White. I'm sorry, Jay Lethal.
I mean, Jay White too.
Such a fountain of Jay White too, but Jay Lethal is such a fountain of experience and knowledge. And I don't like. And yes, there's probably no space to have him on TV in a significant spot right now because, like, come on, let's be real. But also, we should find something for him to do.
No, exactly. And speaking of finding stuff to do, like we said, Will Ospreay wins the match, becomes the #1 contender to go and take on Roddy for the International Championship. We mentioned this a little bit earlier, but this definitely opens the door for Undisputed Kingdom versus the Don Callis family. Fellas, do you see this becoming any type of major catalyst for the next couple of weeks between a faction versus faction feud?
I kind of think they're going to break. Like, I think whatever happens here is going to lead to something entirely different for Ospreay and maybe Undisputed Kingdom too. I don't know if I want to see him tied up in that. Like, I'm so gung ho on seeing them work. Like, he's coming with such an aura. He's coming with such a presence. At the same time that they have Swerve, who like organically made his way to the top. You have the opportunity to establish two top main event stars at the same fucking time. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Like, Ospreay doesn't have to be in a placeholder position right now. And I'm really, really hoping that's not what this is. I have this dream right now that he's gonna win this shit and go into Wembley and he's gonna hold up 2 belts at the end of All In, and that's the vision. So cool. And like I said before, not because I want Swerve to lose already. I love Swerve as champion. I just think this is an opportunity to put Swerve on top as the champion and use Ospreay's win to set up something new and great for Swerve on top, parallel to Ospreay or maybe with Ospreay. But that's just me. I hope Tony Khan has that same vision, you know.
Oh, look, you made Shadid want to invest more money into us.
That's the meme, isn't it? Now,
Yes. Caesar, what do you think about Swerve and Ospreay?
I'm just waiting for it to happen. My only question is, I mean, I'm not for this, but do we unify the belts or do we just keep them separate?
Nah,
I kind of want
man,
to stay
you don't,
separate.
you don't need that shit. What the fuck are we doing with that belt anyway? TNT belt is right there.
If we're gonna do that, then
We
all I can say is if we're
put
gonna
that belt.
put them together, the two, please don't give it some
Put it away.
stupid name like undisputed, blah 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 blah.
No, it gets
Just-
eaten. Belts get eaten all the time.
I
You
know, but
just
don't
get
give it.
eaten.
No, I'm just saying,
That's
don't
it,
give it some
yeah.
big long name. That's all.
Nah, no, you don't need a new name. Like it's just like okay, the fucking AEW World Champion. You know, he unified that belt into this one. When Ring of Honor unified the Pure Championship into the World Championship, it didn't become the World Pure Championship.
That's what
You know,
I'm
the
saying.
Pure
I just want
the-
AEW World.
it disappeared. You know, like
I mean,
that's
think
fine.
back to Triple H's reign of terror, and the World Heavyweight title just absorbed every singles championship on Raw.
Didn't it? Didn't
Yeah.
the IC belt go away for a little bit or something?
Yeah, it
We
did.
lost Hardcore, European, and the IC title.
The IC
That was
came back.
crazy.
As Stone Cold.
That's
Yeah,
crazy
it
to
was
think.
like a-
People don't remember that.
Yeah, we didn't get the IC back till Judgment Day,
Definitely.
Thanks, Stone Cold.
which was the following year. But yeah, it feels weird too because the international title, like it became like the open challenge title, like the week by week defense, but like that was the original point of the TNT championship. So
Right?
yeah,
I feel like
so
we've
it can-
made what? Yeah, it's redundant. It can go.
Yeah. But going back to John's previous point, though, you know, AEW's got a lot of amazing veterans and whatnot on the roster that some might say they might be able to have the youngins sit under the learning tree.
Oh god.
I was so willing to
New
give this a chance for like
entrants.
I really
When
was.
I heard this was happening, I actually didn't know this was actually on the show. I was just reading something, and then I heard the learning tree, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I heard the music off, and I was like, oh shit, this is the shows now. So
Is it the learning tree
Why
like
does it-
a school thing or like a tutoring something?
it sounds like
No, you
it.
sit under the learning tree. It's an expression, but he did like the Deaf Rebel thing where he screams out like the learning tree, and then it's like a really bad song after. Generic as fuck. And then I heard
The
vocals.
graphic
So I
was
thought,
pretty
"Wow."
cool.
I was
The
like,
It had
is
cybernetic
that
tree.
Foxy? Like,
I wouldn't be
the graphic.
surprised.
I'm surprised
Yeah,
yeah,
the-
screaming is the name of the song too.
John, what were you saying?
Foxy!
I like the graphic at least. That was cool.
Yeah, it definitely
would-
appealed to my monkey brain.
Big Bill Jericho comes out here and he's cutting this obnoxious promo, like oblivious to the way people are talking and acting about him. And I was like, well, that's fine. I'm okay with this. He seemed refreshed. And I was like, okay, maybe we're going somewhere. And then Big Bill comes out and I chuckled.
That
Yeah,
was so random.
I was like, fuck, like what's about to happen here? Like, you know what? I wanted them to give Big Bill a chance. Let's see what this is. And he fucking
See you,
said,
Smarks.
God damn it, I want to sit under the learning tree of you, Chris Jericho. And I was like, God
What-
damn it.
What was that one thing
I-
he called it? Like the catalyst? No. There's some fancy term he called Jericho.
Ah, fuck it. It sucked. It sucked. Big Bill's delivery was all trash. It's like a
sounded
slow burn
very
build to a Jericho faction. Like, we're slow
Lot of them.
burning this? Like, why are we slow? Like, okay, I'll be
Just set on
watching.
fire.
you. Like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to watch this for 6 weeks. Ah!
And that was the same attitude Taz had because remember too, Jericho renamed the FTW Championship to the For the World Championship.
Uh,
You
cringe.
should bring Team Taz back together. Fuck it.
This is where
I'd
it
rather watch
happens.
that.
This is where it happens. Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Hook. Get
Oh,
Hook, get Hobbs,
That's
get
the hook.
Hobbs. Oh, the whole family's
Yes.
back. Stop playing. That's
I'd watch
awesome.
that. That'd be sick.
I mean,
Anyway.
hey, we mentioned the man's name. Might as well move on and get to what the true main event was. Powerhouse Hobbs taking on John
Damn.
Moxley. I don't know why that graphic's not popping up, but
I love the
That
ref's face. That
match, I don't know what happened here. It felt like it got cut short, or maybe that was
Probably
by
did.
design. I didn't like it. I mean, they were brawling around, they were wrestling around, and it felt like right when they were starting to get into it, Hobbs goes
Over.
down, he sells his knee, and I was like, is that legit? I hope not. And Mox fucking just hits him with the finish, and he kicks out. So I was like, okay, then he's fine. But then he puts him in the choke, and he immediately goes out. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, no.
Ooh.
yeah, I feel like Hobbs was just like trying to force himself through it, I guess. But
I can
No, I
see it.
think Mox just gave it to him. Like, he's still a monster. You know, like Hobbs is still like a big
Yeah.
guy and still a younger guy than Mox in the business. Probably not, probably closer in age than most people would think. But he probably just gave it to him to kick out because that seems like a Moxley thing to do. But the thing that made me think it was storyline was that Don Callis was on commentary and Excalibur's like, but your guy might be injured. And Don Callis was like, I'm not worried about the injury as much as the loss. I was like,
yeah,
I was like, God
Damn
damn
it, Don.
who else but Don?
That's a t-shirt right there.
But yeah, no. What did you guys think?
Honestly, your idea, or yours or Neeks that came up earlier, that was like United Empire versus the Don Callis. I just want to see if that goes through. That's on my mind right now. Like, truthfully. But for that match, it served its purpose. You gotta say.
Yeah, this has been a show of like interfaction warfare when you think about it. I mean, at the very start, Don Callis family versus Mogul Embassy. Then you got, the potential with Don Callis family versus Undisputed Kingdom, and now Blackpool Combat Club versus Don Callis family.
I actually forgot that they did this segment where in the Battle Royale, Ospreay goes for the Tiger Driver, and he's like, nah, never mind.
Yeah.
And then
That's
Callis
right.
talks to him about it, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Break his neck 5 times. Like, you're going to bounce, it doesn't matter. And we saw whoops. Oh, that's actually a really good graphic. But we saw yet another split between United Empire and the Don Callis family. So Don saying that about Hobbs, though, it's weird because like, who's gonna be on the outside if he's shitting on all his fucking people?
Well, remember too, there was that moment where like the last couple of weeks, like when Don Callis is just promoting everyone in the family, like he just pushes and hits Hobbs like really hard, and it makes you wonder like he's gonna eventually do something where he pushes Hobbs maybe a little too hard, and Hobbs will push him back.
He's gonna push him through a fucking wall.
Glass.
Not again.
But yeah, that was the show, I have to say. Oh no, that was not, because then Takeshita comes out to the ringside area to go and stare down Moxley, challenging him, being the next potential competitor for that IWGP World Heavyweight title.
Oh, we actually talked about that at the beginning of the show, Arvin. Go ahead and rewind that as soon as this is over if you want. It's the first 20 minutes. But
2030.
it's about that time, fellas.
Ooh.
Fellas, who do we have for the Jobber of the Night?
Woo! Caesar.
We need to have like an intro or something for this.
Yeah. And he's like, Jobber!
Brought to you by monk.com.
Jobber of the night.
Promo
Talk
code.
about jobbers. Make sure that you use promo code DSR10 to enjoy your Jobber of the Night.
That's right.
I love the segue. You're like, sponsored today. I'm if I honestly had to pick, and I'm done with her shit, to be completely brutally honest, Mercedes. Like, truthfully.
Okay.
Like, she's been in promos. I understand she's injured, but do we have to have her on every single week? Couldn't there be like a gap? But that's just my 2 cents on that one. Is Mercedes?
I think I understand what you're saying because I mentioned that I wanted her to be like, I wish they would have just kept her off. Like, I wish they would have just debuted her at this pay-per-view instead of but I understand like it was Boston and it was time and it's like fuck, but she wasn't ready.
Like, how do you know she's even ready for Double or Nothing? Maybe she's not even ready.
In hindsight, I would have had someone really kill her in Boston. Like, I would have had her come out and CEO, and somebody would have smashed her. Like, oh no, she's gone again. Like, what the hell?
Truly.
Yeah, but that's just me. I get what you're saying, but
who's your jobber of the night?
Yeah, robotic voice.
My jobber of the night tonight is probably going to be you said Mercedes. I was so worried about bumping up your jobber of the night. I didn't think of mine.
Ooh, not prepared.
I'm not prepared at all. Who's that? I know who the fuck the jobber of the night was. The audio at the beginning of the night. What the fuck was that about? Anytime they come to
echoing
Daly's
just persisted.
Anytime they come to Daly's place, and every time they come to Daly's place, after
I
the
put the Bucks this time.
It's fucking audio issues. That's my cop out jobber of the night.
There's always some sort of issue ever since then. I mean, for my job of the night, fellas, I have no other choice than to go with a Mr. Tony Khan.
He's taking a nap, you guys. He's just taking a nice nap.
The way Jack Perry dragged him across the ring just made me burst out in laughter. Oh, that was amazing. But with that, we have the, of course, Megastar of the Night, brought to you by the Cold Case Project on YouTube, which is a channel that focuses on all kinds of disappearance, murders, and other cold cases. Go check that out. Fellas, Megastar of the Night.
Let's go reverse order this time.
Reverse order. All right. Well, hey. Woo! Listen, Tony Khan might have been my jobber of the night, but my Megastar of the night, Shadid. I mean, he's
my God, you
look at his mustache. God damn it, Shadid. He's so rich. Give me a job. Give me a job, please.
Check emails right now. For the job application.
I would brush his mustache every morning.
That's your job. 10 grand just to do it every day.
Oh, that's right. Shadid, hire me.
Thank you, Mr. Shadid. Now, can I brush Tony's hair as well? He needs it.
Right?
No. All right, John.
My Megastar of the night tonight, my boy Jack Perry, man. He came back. I'm gonna say it from the fucking rooftops because I said it the night they aired that all-in footage. You know what's gonna happen? Jack Perry's gonna come back over as fuck. I said it in a longer way. And look at this. Oh no, why did they air the footage? Look at Jack Perry. Look at Jack Perry. Look at all of this that's coming from that. Come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, but CM Punk is not here to pay it off. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Like, then you know that. So then use that and put it in the context of the story, buffoon. Like, Jack Perry was my favorite part of the night. I agree. And yes, Shahid Megastar of the night. Agreed.
Next world champion, Shahid.
Caesar, everyone agreed with ours. Now you got to make a pick that's going to have people agreeing with you.
I mean, I'm just excited because these guys were on TV and they performed extremely well. Two people.
Ooh.
And one because he's from my area, and that's Kyle O'Reilly. And
two,
Commander. Honestly, those guys looked amazing with Ospreay in the Battle Royale or Casino Gauntlet, whatever the hell they call it.
Marketing.
So, marketing. No, it was awesome to see them actually do their thing through the match. So it was wicked. So yeah, that's us.
Yeah, honestly, too.
No one got destroyed.
Exactly. I appreciate any opportunity that we're able to throw Commander in as Megastar of the night. So,
dude, he looked awesome in that match. Holy shit!
Gotta get that Kyle O'Reilly Ospreay match soon. And he cut his hair. What the fuck? Great hairline.
That caught me off guard. That caught me off guard so much.
Damn it, Kyle. I thought he was gonna win. I thought he was gonna win the whole thing. I was like, this is weird that Ospreay won.
That was the original plan.
Whatever.
Yeah, when I
thought-
saw O'Reilly come out, that's when I'm like, okay, this is the guy. But then the next entrant was Ospreay. I was like,
I was shocked when I heard the music go off. I was like,
that got a pop out of me. But then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. He's either gonna lose this or he's gonna win this. And I'm like, why would he win this? And then he
or
won
is he
it.
gonna get completely run over by Lance Archer? And he got run over by Lance Archer.
Yeah. I like that they gave Archer something at least to be that Murderhawk again and just destroy everyone in there.
Everybody dies.
Literally, everyone got destroyed. That ring emptied.
Still waiting for whenever we can see Jake the Snake again, at least for just one more opportunity, even just on a Zoom or something.
They're nice enough. They just pay him for being Jake the Snake. Tony Khan, being the fan that he is, he knows what Jake the Snake has
All
gone
those
through.
issues, yeah.
And they just kind of pay because like they literally renewed his contract to do just to be home and live. You know, like I think that's actually a really cool thing that goes understated. It's weird to talk about
Jake the Snake.
It's weird to talk about like a billionaire doing charity and talk about it like a nice thing because you just always try to think about like, okay, well, what are they getting out of it? But it really does seem like Tony Khan, the fan, is just paying Jake the Snake Robert to live. You know, like
That's awesome.
It's a pretty cool thing.
All right, but yeah, that's been us. John, would you like to start us off and going through the rapid fire list of everything?
Yes. I got this. Visit us at comicbookclick.com/DirtSheetRadio. That's where we put all of our shit so that the internet can't erase us when the eventual demise of social media comes. Catch the Major Issue Show on Comic Book Click. It's a show where they cover everything about superhero content. That's comic books, superhero films, superhero shows, movies, animated fucking shit. It's everywhere. We do it all on Major Issues every Thursday morning. The Delphin Pod shows. Podcasts on the Delphin Pod Network cover things like pop culture and cinema. And right in the middle of those shows is Dirt Sheet Radio as well. One show about pro wrestling, the flagship Dirt Sheet Radio. Catch us tomorrow morning. Monk.com, promo code DSR10. Make sure to get that fucking aromatherapy. Y'all love that shit. Shop DSR on our Shopify store. It's the way that we make money because I really don't know how else to do this. Make money from you people yet in any way that makes you not feel exploited. Anyway, we're figuring that out. Cold Case Project on YouTube. Tony LaRocco's beautiful Cold Case themed YouTube channel. Thousands of subscribers, hundreds and hundreds of hours of Cold Case content for all you dead people mystery lovers. It's there. And I think that is everything except for our own stuff.
Yeah, we hit through all of that, but yeah, Cold Case Project, that's a channel focusing on all kinds of disappearances, murders, and other cold cases, like John said. And on top of that, it's a lot of binge-worthy stuff, 30-minute videos, hour-long videos, even 2-hour-long videos. That's going to be good stuff. Fellas, you might have seen in the corner of right next to my name, we had Rest in Peace Casper. If you were wondering who that is, we lost a great dog recently, fellas. Casper, Bichon Poodle mix. Love him so much. I am going to miss him. That was family friend's dog, and he always that was my dog though. That was my son. I love him so much, and there's just so much that you could say. But Casper, we're gonna miss you. You were absolutely one of the best, most intelligent, fun-loving dogs I've ever had the opportunity to know. So thank you so much for being a part of my life and impacting so many. Rest in peace, buddy. Till we meet again.
Hearts all around, man. Hearts all around.
It's from inside a horse carcass. I'm sorry.
Secret's out.
I'm sorry. My internet is shit. Okay.
Next week.
Next week I'll be back. Anyway, man, that is us though. Thank you all for joining us tonight. That was a wonderful episode of Dynamite. It ended on a high note. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week or tonight.
Woo!